Hello and welcome everybody to our second edition of Cafe Cantante. I know many of you attended last time we did this almost a year ago, and we're super excited with the program that we have today. I have two very special guest artists, good friends of ours and wonderful flamenco performers and artists. We have Javier Heredia and Rhina, his partner Rhina. They are coming to us directly from Seville. Javier is a very interesting artist because he's something that we call in flamenco a festero, which is someone that dances and sings at the same time. It's a very specialized type of field, and there are not very many people who do it. So Javier is one of the main proponents of this style of the younger generation. He is also, I'd like to later talk to him. He's self-taught, and we'll talk about that later. And we have Rhina, who is of Japanese descent and has now been living in Seville for a long time with Javier. And let's welcome them, Javier and Rhina. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Muchas
Celia.
gracias,
Muchas gracias,
Celia.
Irma. Aquí estamos. Me alegro mucho de verte por aquí, que sea por la pantallita, pero muy feliz de vernos.
So many of our attendees do not speak Spanish, so I will be acting as a translator as well as Rhina. She speaks Spanish and English too, so we can always have her as a translator for Javier. But before we go any further, one quick thing I would like to tell you, a technical thing. If some of you are new to this Zoom, if you look down at the bottom, there's a little thing that says Q&A. It's a question and answer place where you can, while the performance, before, after the performance, during, it won't interrupt anything. You can click on it if you have a question that we can later get to after the performance is over. So that's the Q&A. And also very important, the chat. So if you are watching the show, and since we're not in person, but if you love it and you want to say ole or bravo or clap your hands, you could do that. That's a wonderful thing to be able to do in your chat. So those are the two things. Let's show the video. They prepared for us. This is the premiere of this. Nobody's seen it, and they prepared it especially for all of you today. So let's watch Javier Heredia and Rhina directly from Seville.
자, arriba pueblo. Hip-hop, hip-hop, hip-hop. Ante, ante, ante. Va, 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 va.
Tengo 4 senderos para quererte. Si los 4 días me dan la muerte. Tengo 4 senderos para olvidarte. Y me lleva el camino de cualquier parte. Ahí está mi vida. Y en los 4 senderos se va mi vida. Ayer el cielo, como la noche negra cae en tu pelo negro. ¡Ay, pero quita! Quítame el beso de la noche, déjame vivir tranquilo, no pronuncies más. Y un beso así no quiere decir nada. Y un beso así no quiere decir nada. Y en el amor hay que estar siempre presente.
Dale, los gitanos, dale.
Capitán de corbeta, venido de ay, por ver tu cara y te hay tu cara.
That was great. Bravo, bravo. You guys, Rhina, take your, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Ok.
Excuse me.
Bravo, that was awesome. Thank you so much for that. That was really great. So I hope all of you out there loved it as much as I did. And as we were watching it, you know, people were, I don't know if you saw the comments coming in, but there was a lot of interesting comments. And there was one comment that I thought was really interesting. And I think that would be like a really good way to start off this conversation. I have a bunch of questions for you myself, but she asked something and I'm curious because she wanted to know, I'm looking at it first, Sarai Barocas, if you're there, she says, could you explain how the new flamenco is different from the traditional flamenco and if many flamenco artists are now doing it the new way? Thank you. But the question that I'm thinking to myself as she writes this is, there's a lot of new flamenco and a lot of traditional flamenco, but in my mind, you guys are not the new, you are the traditional flamenco, which I personally love. So lo que estoy diciendo es que ha preguntado una persona y no sé si ella está pensando que vosotros hacéis el nuevo flamenco o flamenco tradicional. Porque pregunta qué es la diferencia y quién está haciendo el nuevo y quién está haciendo el tradicional. Para mí, vosotros sois los tradicionales y no el nuevo, pero a lo mejor podéis comentar sobre eso.
Yo pienso que el flamenco es uno. El flamenco es flamenco, nuevo porque se hace ahora en este año, en 2021 o en 2020, y somos más jóvenes, bueno, ya no tan jóvenes, pero el flamenco es flamenco. Luego se hacen, como se dicen, fusiones y cosas, que hay algunas que están muy bonitas, pero el flamenco ya hace mucho tiempo está inventado. La soleá, la sevillilla, la bulería, lo que se ha visto ahí. Y así es.
Pero lo que pasa es que
Wait. Don't go too much because we have to translate. We can't go too far because people don't know. So do you want to translate, Rhina? Or?
Okay, so what he said was, in his mind, flamenco is just one. New or old, new because you could be doing this in 2021. But in his mind, flamenco should be just one thing. And of course, you know, when we talk about fusion, then we're not talking about new or old either, right? So that's what he was saying.
And what's your point of view, Rhina? What do you think?
So my point of view would be this. I would think, yes, we are traditional. No, just because what I love is what we call the antiguo flamenco or the traditional flamenco style where things are natural. I think that's the key word to me because, of course, you know, the great preparation techniques and all these are important, but no, and I'm not saying you know, only the traditional flamenco is worth and then others not. But I think when the flamenco loses the natural form of, for example, being able to react to the music or react to the cante, then it loses, in my opinion, something. It loses something. And also I remember, I'm not, I guess, old enough to talk about the in-person experience, but I know back then people just had the cante and then they danced to that cante. So anyway, I think there was much more attention to the transmission rather than let's do a series of techniques. So in that sense, I would like to think and then say that we are sort of traditional. So
flamenco de vivencia también, de lo que se vive, no solo de lo que se practica. Y más o menos te coge un poquito el contexto.
So I just want to tell everybody that is here in our audience that if you have a question, the best way is if you look down below and you see a little question and answer tab. If you type your question in there, or if you have a question and then you could also, I guess, raise your hand, and you would be able to unmute yourself and ask the question. But as we're talking about this, which is interesting to me, and Javier, what he was just saying was, for him, it's just a way of life. And so I would like to have a question for Javier, because it's very interesting. As you saw him, he's completely self-taught. Tú eres autodidáctico. Quiero decir que tú nunca fuiste, Javier, a la escuela, ¿verdad? O sea, tú
Yo fui
todo lo que aprendiste.
a la escuela de escribir fui, sí, sí.
He went to the school to learn to read and write, but not to learn flamenco. So my question for Javier is, I think it would be really interesting for everybody. See, if you could tell us, a little bit about your background, like how you get started in flamenco and when it was, at what point, because I know you've been listening and seeing and being involved in flamenco your whole life, but when was the moment you decided to make it a professional career? So él va a hablar primero en español. He's going to speak it. He'll tell us in Spanish, and then Rhina will translate that.
Ay, perdón, entonces no enteraste nada. Bueno, ¿cómo ha empezado el flamenco? ¿Y qué punto en tu vida, qué edad tenía para, no sé, enterarte que tú querías hacer esto como profesión?
Yo el flamenco lo recibo desde pequeño de forma muy natural en casa, a través de mi padre, que es un aficionado, no se ha dedicado profesionalmente, pero siempre ha sido muy buen aficionado y siempre ha cantado en casa y por ahí en fiestas también, pero yo de niño lo escuchaba en casa, lógicamente, o en alguna celebración familiar, ¿no? Y aparte lo que le escuchaba de sus cintas y de sus vídeos y sus cosas.
So, first of all, his father sings. I mean, he's not professional, let's say, but he's a very good aficionado and flamenco lover, and he's always singing. So first flamenco that he received is from his father. His father always sang in his, or he has been singing in his house, and then, he's been in all the fiesta. He's like one example of living flamenco, no? And also he always had flamenco to listen to and then see in the house too. So that's how I guess his interest started.
Y de yo pensar de dedicarme, pues la verdad que yo no quise estudiar, me puse a trabajar y yo nunca pensaba, yo cuando empecé ya a cantar más de muchacho, digamos, salía al ambiente flamenco, cantaba, pero era como una afición. Yo no tenía pensamiento de hacerme profesional, ni bailaor, ni cantar. Yo pensaba en divertirme nada más. Hasta que empecé poquito a poco con el tío Juan del Gastor, que me llamó para fiestas privadas y eso, y ya, pues ahí poquito a poco empecé ya una fiesta, la otra, la feria, y ya después a los años, pero no muchos años, a lo mejor yo tenía 18, 20 años, y después con 24 ya estaba con Manuela Carrasco en una bienal de flamenco, en mi apartado cantando y bailando por bulería, que es lo que yo he hecho, principalmente.
So, he was saying he was, in school and he didn't really like to study. And so he started to work, but afterwards, he started to go to, all these fiestas and like, let's say, like as a work, Tito Juan del Gastor, who is a guitarist from Morón de la Frontera, so you guys probably know, a nephew of Diego del Gastor, Grand Diego del Gastor. He started to hire him for fiesta or feria or things like that. So then he was like 17, 18, something like that. And he never had the thought of being professional or anything. He just wanted to enjoy flamenco and singing,
mucho enjoy.
singing and dancing, no? But then when he realized, when he got hired by Manuela Carrasco for her company, and it went to Bienal and all of the places in Spain I guess other
Sí,
places
hicimos una gira
too,
por España, eso tenía
como
yo
tour.
24 años.
Then he really realized in that moment that, you know, he could make a living out of this. Not like, you know, I want to be professional, that in that sense, perhaps not.
Ni
but
yo he ensayado,
that he never
baile, ni...
rehearsed,
El cante lo tenía más cercano a través de mi padre, como he dicho anteriormente.
through his father, he
Mi
always
padre
had
cantaba por
cante,
soleá,
so
por malagueña o por lo que fuera, por
not just
alegría.
Uriria, but other palos also, no? Like,
Javier, I have a question. ¿Había un momento en que pensaste en tu interior, bueno, ya soy profesional, voy a seguir mi vida profesional? Was there a moment where like you had like something go off thinking to yourself, I guess I'm a professional artist now, I'm going to go forward with my career, you know, as a professional?
Yo creo que hay una frase de Charles Chaplin que es muy inteligente, que todos somos, la vida es tan corta que todos somos aficionados.
Sí.
Yo pienso eso, pero lo que sí me di cuenta que quise dedicarme fue a través de un poquito del despertador, porque los trabajos que yo tenía que había que levantarse muy temprano y en la fiesta pues estaba uno con su cervecita y fue un tiempo que íbamos para Marbella también, me lo pasaba bien y ganaba dinerito, casi la mitad del sueldo que ganaban otros. Me lo pasaba bien, era joven y tenía ganas de... Y podía hacerlo, la gente me llamaban, contaban conmigo. Entonces
Rhina.
era wonderful.
okay.
Translate.
First of all, and I, he's referring to the phrase that Charlie Chaplin used to say, no? This life is too short. I'm sorry, I probably won't say exactly like he was saying, but this life is too short that, you know, we can only be aficionado, like, you know, there's no room to become professional. So he believes in that. And he was saying in the moment he his alarm to get up to get up for his work, and it was like really bothering him every morning. and then he thought, well, it's not too bad to make a living, you know, singing and dancing. And so perhaps the alarm, that morning alarm on the clock, was the reason for him to realize that he wanted
getting up too early. It was too early to get up. It was a lot better to start working, you know, late at night and have a beer and have a good time. That makes sense. That's what I kind of think the same way. As a matter of fact, it's been a good life. It's been a good life being an artist, I would say, in that sense. Not having sometimes though we have to get up early for you know, sometimes we do have an early show, or I think Javier una vez vino a Miami y teníamos que ir a una televisión muy temprano también, ¿no? One time Javier came, he came and has performed with us several times, and we had to get up early to go to do the publicity, so that's just unfortunate. But
Ya con los años va madurando y te das cuenta que todo tiene su lado y que si te subes ahí arriba tiene su parte que tiene que ser profesional y estar responsable y en todos los sentidos, ¿no?
Claro. So Rhina, so your story is a lot different because you actually were born in Japan, correct?
Yes.
And you can't. Did you get started with the flamenco in Japan or
no,
not
at all? At all. No. I moved to the U.S. when I was in my teen. I was a high school exchange student, and since then I lived in the States. I went to the university and everything. And when I first got my job after my graduation, basically, and then I started flamenco.
Oh, so where did you first see flamenco then?
Atlanta, Georgia.
In Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. That's where you saw your first flamenco?
Yes. Well,
Do you remember what you saw?
No, I've seen flamenco. Yeah, I've seen flamenco. My mom was very She is very interesting. You know, she likes culture and everything. So she used to buy like tickets for Antonio Gades and stuff like that. But I started to, well, I wanted to look for something that I could do for a long time or all my life. So that's when I found my flamenco basically in Atlanta, because I liked to dance and everything from beginning. But then I thought, I wouldn't be able to do, like, let's say hip hop when I was in my 60s or 70s, right?
That's a good thing about flamenco. Is one thing I like about flamenco, especially the older I get, is that we can keep dancing, and actually it's one of the art forms where the older, mature dancers are well received and admired. So that's nice. We have a question here from Winfield Collins. Would you like to answer your question live? Winfield? Or would you like me to ask? Okay, he asks, Winfield, que si quiere preguntar en vivo? He says, ¿en cuál parte de España es flamenco más popular? That's his question. Winfield Collins is asking, what part of Spain is flamenco más popular?
El flamenco nace aquí en la Baja Andalucía.
Sí.
Sevilla cae en este rinconcito, y los pueblos Lebrija, Utrera, Morón, Jerez, el puerto. Aquí nace todo lo que es el flamenco. Después se
Sí.
extendió. Sabemos que hay grandes artistas como fue Carmen Amaya, que era de Barcelona, emparentado con la gente de aquí, de los negros de Ronda también. Sabica, que era de Pamplona, y ya hay flamenco en todo el mundo. Aquí tenemos
Pero
la
más que nada, sí.
la Baja Andalucía.
He says that most popular in Andalusia, that's the birthplace of flamenco, directly where Javier actually is born and raised in Seville. That whole area is the birthplace of flamenco, and probably where it's most popular, although it is popular in Madrid and Barcelona as well. And there's some amazing, very important flamenco artists that came out of Barcelona. This is what Javier was saying, like Carmen Amaya. Sabicas was from the north, very important. But Andalusia principally is the major place where and then maybe Madrid and Barcelona, I would say. So we have another question. Lori, would you like to answer live so we can hear you? No. Okay. Lori Kaufman asks, how did your artistic partnership come about? Very good question. ¿Cómo que vosotros han hecho pareja? How did your artistic partnership so their artistic partnership, and also they're a couple, so they have a partnership 100% in all ways. But you go ahead and tell the story, Rhina.
Ella porque ella es la guapa. Lo raro es que ella se ha juntado conmigo.
No, ¿qué dice?
See, he says because she's so beautiful.
First of all, we were friends for a long time, years and years and years, no? And because before I moved to Sevilla, I used to just go back and forth every year, every summer I was here in Sevilla. And through our American friends, good friends of ours, mutual friends at that time, we greeted each other, and then that's how we got to know each other. And from that point on, we kept in touch. Basically, if I'm in Sevilla, we saw each other, like saying hi or whatever. And we used to say, primo Javier, prima Rhina, ¿sabe? They go like that, like saying like brother and, sister kind of thing. I used to organize like workshops and stuff in Atlanta back then. So he used to come with our good friends Ethan Margoli and Cindy Ocampo to my city, and that's how our friendship started, no? Like totally. And then afterwards, when I decided to move to Sevilla, basically, things happen, sparks happen, and then we got together like a couple. Now, he used to tell me this in America or in Sevilla, you should come with me. You should dance here. And I used to say, no. When people want me to dance, want me to work, I would do it. But I'm not gonna go like side. How do you say that in English? Side kick of yours. No, because I don't.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
respect-
Yeah, that's how you say it, sidekick.
I-
The
I
sidekick.
respect flamenco so much that I mean, you know, if somebody tells me to work, if they want me to dance, I would do it. But then I never wanted to like take advantage of the fact that I'm with him, if that makes sense. So, but anyway, so I don't know when, but it's a little by little, you know, because I worked in America and Japan individually a lot, you know, and so there were like downtime when I started to live in here, but little by little things picked up, and then now, you know, some opportunities come along to me, so I talk a lot. I know my Javier always
Todo lo que ha dicho es verdad, todo.
y yo hablo mucho,
Yo,
perdón.
yo no me he enterado de nada.
Sorry, I speak.
Todo lo que me he
We
enterado.
have a question from Gerardo, y si Gerardo estás aquí, ¿quieres preguntárselo en vivo? Gerardo? Gerardo, ¿estás aquí? Puedes unmute yourself. No, okay, he says que la gente no quiere hablar. Pero Gerardo está aquí, he says, ¿a cuántos alumnos habéis transmitido vuestros conocimientos de flamenco? How many students have you guys been able to share and transmit your flamenco with? That's his question.
Mucha gente que han pasado,
Muchísima,
¿no? Muchos viajes
Here en Sevilla,
en
también
Japón, en Estados Unidos. No te
La
puedo
gente viene de
calcular.
Francia y mucho, vamos.
Sobre todo mucho en Japón y en Estados Unidos más que nada, y la gente que pasa por aquí, ¿no? Pero bastante gente. Y creo que es importante lo que transmitimos. El sentido, como decía ella, de natural, ¿no? Y rítmico y de más escuchar el cante, ese tipo de cosas. Entonces ahí estamos haciendo una labor que creemos que es bonita y seguimos para adelante. Lo mismo para 4 personas que para, si hay ocasión, para 25 o 30. Ahora con...
So we had so many people come through, of course, Sevilla, but we also go to Japan, and you know, before the COVID, we used to go to the States a lot too. So we have been very fortunate to get to know some of the great, you know, students, and we like believe in transmitting or sharing natural flamenco. Very focused on good compás and the knowledge of cante. So, you know, we always hope that that message gets to the people who like flamenco. And
we have a question from Veronica Medina. She wants to know if you're still offering classes, singing classes. ¿Estás ofreciendo clases de cante en el Zoom todavía?
sí, tenemos we have
varios
like
grupos.
You got, so you could, you know, in the chat, you could put your information for everybody.
I would do that totally. I would do that.
Yeah.
We have about we don't do big classes because we like to pay attention to each person.
Yeah, hay grupitos.
We have like 2 from Japan, and 1 is like a Canada, America, or whoever can come in that class. No?
Sí, hay varios
And then
grupos.
another one in Minneapolis that's been with us since the start of the pandemic also. So yeah,
Sí, la situación esta que ha habido con el COVID nos ha... Porque yo no sabía cómo íbamos, pero ha sido una salvación, ¿no?
Sí, also.
Y la verdad que también se lo agradecen mucho, ¿no? Porque está todo basado en el ritmo, prácticamente. Aparte del cante, de lo que es el cante, hay gente que desconoce mucho cómo encajar las letras y cómo cuadrar y demás.
Exactly. And basically the cante class is not just for the people who want to sing, but anyone a guitarist or dancers. A lot of dancers. We have a lot of dancers, by the way, because it's the fundamental, basically, the knowledge of cante and compás. So we, definitely guide them to get to know and then profundizar, como se dice, like deepen their knowledge and then their sentido, like that musicality, basically, so that whatever they do, guitar or the dance or percussion or whatever, they can.
So where can they find the classes, Rhina? Where can they find the classes?
We give classes on Zoom, so if you guys
have a link that they can go to or a website.
No, you can write to me via Facebook, via email, and I'm going to put it on chat,
Okay.
Or Instagram. I'm going to put everything in the chat
Okay.
right now. Should I do that right now? See?
If you want to. In the meantime, does anybody else have any questions for Javier or for Rhina? No more questions? Are you sure? We have a lot of people out there. You might have some questions. Okay, so, we do have one more question. Okay, this is from Pamela Richmond. This is a good question. She asks, is there a difference between the audience in Japan and America? ¿Hay una diferencia entre la audiencia en Japón y América? Javier.
Hay diferencia. ¿Hay alguna diferencia? Sí hay.
Sí.
Yo voy a hablar mi experiencia.
Sí.
Y tengo tanto grandes amigos en Estados Unidos como en Japón.
He says there's a difference and he's going to tell you his experience with it. Go ahead.
Y la diferencia que yo noto es que para el flamenco hay que tener mucha paciencia.
He says you have to have a lot of patience. ¿Sigue?
El japonés tiene mucha paciencia.
He says and the Japanese are very, very patient. Muy interesante. Sigue.
Y no es influencia porque mi mujer sea de Japón.
Sí. And not because of the influence of Rhina. No.
Porque eso va con la persona. Pero hablo de forma generalizada.
Sí.
El japonés, no sé si por su cultura o por su forma de vida o lo que sea, que luego tú ves los metros y va todo el mundo corriendo y eso, pero a la hora de la artesanía y de la comida, pues eso lo conservan y profundizan mucho. Tengo grandes amigos, tú eres una prueba, que lleva tanto como Ethan, Lakshmi Zigli, muchos amigos muy flamencos que han venido aquí, que han profundizado, pero generalmente hablo, ¿ok? Carla, todos nuestros amigos de Estados Unidos, ¿ok? Que han vivido aquí con todos los artistas, con Fernanda, con todos. Pero para esto hay que tener paciencia.
He's saying that he's found that, and he's saying, I mean, of course there are exceptions, but he's found that the Japanese have a lot of patience for flamenco, in learning flamenco, in being able to deepen their knowledge of flamenco, for being able to go understanding, looking for flamenco. Sigue.
Pero que está pasando ya en todo el mundo.
Sí.
Con la paciencia, aquí en España y en todos lados. Lo que no puede saber la gente es 2 coreografías y ser bailado. Eso es imposible. Ni en Japón, ni en Estados Unidos, ni en España, ni en ningún sitio. Esto es una cosa que
I think what he's saying, people want to, oftentimes, especially, many times in the United States and in Spain as well, a lot of students are learning and they want to be able to be a professional dancer in like 10 minutes. They think they can learn 100 steps, 100 million steps. Pueden aprender un montón de pasos y coreografías y ya son profesionales.
Impossible.
And it's not that way. So,
una cosa como los vinos que poquito a poco se van haciendo y hay que ser aficionado al cante y ver una fiesta, ver la comunicación, en fin. Las cosas.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, muy interesante. Que los japoneses tienen paciencia para poder seguir, conocer, buscar. But the question was also about uno era o sea, el estudiante, pero la audiencia. Cuando tú estás performing, cuando tú estás actuando y la gente en el público, hay una diferencia de cómo te reciben. How do the audience receives your performance?
Yo he
In
tenido,
Spain and in Japan and in the United States.
ya. Yo he tenido buenas experiencias, la verdad, en todos sitios. El público japonés muy respetuoso, muy callado, sabe decir los goles a tiempo. Eso es muy importante.
Muy importante.
El público de Estados Unidos es más efusivo, más como
Ajá.
interactúa más.
That's interesting. He said, let me just say real quick. So the Japanese, there's something that we say when someone, and we put it a lot in the chat because we couldn't say it. Ole, ole, ole. When the artist is performing, when we want to, say how much we like it and to give them, animos, we say ole. And there's a precise moment actually when you're supposed to say it and not say it. The Japanese, he says, have learned when to say it the right moment, but they're more respectful and quiet about doing it. And maybe the American audience, they're very effusive in the way that they'll be saying ole all over the place, but maybe in the wrong spot. So it's.
I have to inject a little of my opinion. It's at the same time, like they say ole in good moment, let's say, but sometimes it feels a little programmed.
Right.
Japanese audience, okay?
Right.
So there's no good and bad or right and wrong, in my opinion. You feel it and you say, "Ole, it's okay, it's okay." It's not like you have to learn it, or it's not like you have to, be like all quiet and then at the end of the sentence of the singing "Ole." No. So that's one of the things that we also try to transmit to the people. Like, you got to live flamenco to know, not knowledge wise, but instinctively when to say ole or when to sacar, like get your emotion as an audience out. So it's not like one audience is better than other or anything like that. It's just I don't know, my observation, perhaps his is too, is that more the person or people live flamenco, have an experience of flamenco, then they will know better to become a public audience.
Audience.
Because
I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree. Everybody could. I'm gonna, say ole a vosotros dos. Ole los dos. I think everybody agrees. Ole, ole, ole. Para los dos.
Muchos besos.
Let's see. I'm seeing if we have any more questions. One more from Winfield Collins. La música gitana ha influido en la música del baile flamenco. He asked. La música gitana ha influido la música del baile flamenco. Sí. So basically, has the music, have the gypsies had an influence in the dance and the music of flamenco? Is the question. It's another important question. ¿Qué influencia? ¿Qué tiene influencia?
Mi respuesta.
La música gitana ha influido la música y el baile flamenco.
Es que el flamenco que conocemos actualmente, sin el pueblo gitano, no existiría. Mi opinión.
Exacto. He says that without the gypsy culture, the flamenco as we know it today wouldn't exist. It is absolutely influenced by the gypsy music and the gypsy influence. I think everybody would be in agreement with that.
Habiendo intérpretes que, tanto en cante como en baile como en guitarra, que lo sabemos, ¿no? De Paco de Lucía, Vallejo, que no han sido gitanos, que han sido genios y fenómenos. El baile Antonio Gade, pero el pueblo gitano ha tenido una influencia muy, muy importante para cómo concebimos el flamenco en la actualidad, como ha sido.
And some people say, well, there's nothing written, so you can't prove it or something like that. Some people say, and I'm very, very, I'm in disagreement with that sort of comment, by the way, because the culture, Gitano culture is, that cantar y bailar, sing and dance in their culture like gitano flamenco I'm talking about, no? So
we could go on all day, especially when we start getting into all of these conversations about the culture, the music, and the influences of the gypsies. I just want to tell everybody a couple of things. If you look on the chat, Rhina has put in Rhina.motokaw is her last name, motohkaw@gmail.com. That's Rhina.motokaw@gmail.com. You can email her for all of your inquiries about the Zoom classes with her and with Javier. Also, I would like to just ask everybody, we're giving these programs, these are free, but any kind of donation, even if it's $5, is greatly, greatly appreciated for us to help continuing to bring these kinds of programs to you if you're enjoying it. And you can make a $5 or $10 or more donation at fontaflamenco@gmail.com. So I'm going to put that in one more time for you. And I think I don't see any more questions. So I just want to remind everybody also, tomorrow, same time, we have another fantastic artist with us. Macarena de Jerez is going to be here with another program. We're super excited about that. So I just want to say again, thank you so much to Javier y Rhina. Muchísimas gracias. Y quiero saber porque mi marido Paco, creo que estaba aquí, pero no sé
Paco.
si está. ¿Está aquí?
Paco,
¿Dónde está Paco?
vente para acá.
He's the technician. I would like him. I think we're going to end this program. I have a request, and I think it would be a nice way to end. So we're going to completely, para terminar, me gustaría pedir a Javier, si no te importa, una cosita muy chiquitito, una letrita por fandango, a ver si no podía cantar y así terminamos. Me gustaría...
Estoy encantado.
Si viene mi marido y te va a dar un toquecito para darte el tono.
¡Hola!
¿Cómo está mi
Vamos
Paco?
a ver, vamos a hacer un poquito los fandanguillos.
Vamos allá.
No lo escucho.
Y como la primera vez, y como quieres gitanita volver, que yo a ti te quiera. Ay, como la primera vez. Y yo no soy aquel hombre que yo era, pero ni tú, la misma mujer, Dios mío de mi alma, ayer tiempo o cambiado a cualquiera. Ay, 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 ay,
¡Ale, Javier! ¡Viva el arte!
Te quiero, os quiero mucho. Gracias a ustedes,
A
siempre.
todos los videntes por haber venido.
Gracias a todos, saludos a
Thank you
todo el
so much,
mundo.
everybody.
Thank you.
Muchos besos. Muy bien.
Bueno. Close.